Mr. Speaker, I yield 3 minutes to Representative Pfluger, the gentleman from Texas.
The gentleman from the great state of Texas, recognized for 3 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise to offer support of H.R. 1371, condemning the Biden administration and its border czar, Kamala Harris' failure to secure the United States southern border, in fact, all of our borders. This administration's failure to secure the border has been so significant, so catastrophic, that Congress must use its power to provide accountability. On day one, the Biden-Harris administration issued 64 executive orders to open the border to human traffickers, terrorists, and foreign adversaries. In fact, over 300 known or suspected terrorists have crossed the border illegally that we know about, and 50 migrants with ties to ISIS are currently on the loose inside the United States. What are we hearing from our colleagues on the other side of the aisle with regards to that? They don't care? They don't want to do anything about it? They just want to defend an open border policy because that's what they're doing. The American people are paying the real cost of this border crisis. It's people like Laken Riley, like Jocelyn Nungaray, like Rachel Marin, who were assaulted and killed by violent criminals who crossed the southern border illegally. I've even lost constituents in my own district to this border crisis. The Tambunga family, they lost 78-year-old Maria and 7-year-old Amelia to a human trafficker who was here illegally, evading law enforcement, doing over 100 miles an hour. And what's being done? Where is the compassion that I just heard from my colleague towards that family? Law and order is compassionate. Americans deserve accountability for this crisis, that it's wreaked havoc on our communities. Unfortunately, Vice President Harris does not take it seriously, has not done anything positively to shut down the border, to restore law and order. And her complacency and complete disregard to secure the border is unprecedented. This isn't about politics. In fact, for the first 2 years of the administration, we didn't have a single hearing on border security, not a single one on the Committee of Homeland Security. This resolution simply calls for accountability. How many more hearings do we have to have under our current chairman to call accountability to this? Because our colleagues on the other side of the aisle are not willing to actually call out President Biden and Vice President Harris. How many more times do we have to call out for help in our communities? This was led by the border czar. This open border policy was led by the border czar. And it doesn't matter what we hear, it doesn't matter what excuses are said, and it doesn't matter what else is said from the other side of the aisle. The facts are clear. 8.5 million people plus have entered this country illegally. 300 plus on the terror watch list. Thousands of people who are associated with gangs, who are associated with criminal activities, who are associated with delivering fentanyl that has killed over 100,000 people in this country. I don't think it's funny. I personally don't think it's funny.
The gentleman's time has expired.
Reserve.
The gentleman from Tennessee.
We'll give the gentleman another minute, please.
The gentleman from Tennessee yields a minute to the gentleman from Texas.
I personally don't think it's funny. And for those laughing on the other side of the aisle, shame on them. Shame on them. The Tambunga family deserves better in my district. In fact, every American deserves better. How many more classified hearings, Mr. Speaker, are we going to have where the FBI comes in and where other intelligence agencies come in and say, we've got a problem? How many more classified hearings are we going to have? Where they come in to Congress to tell us that we have known and suspected terrorists inside our country. The post-9/11 Commission said the system was flashing red. Wake up. The system is flashing red right now. And it is due to President Biden and Vice President Harris' inability to secure the border and do something to secure our country. Shame on those who won't stand up and do the right thing. I strongly urge my colleagues to support H.R. 1371 and to get accountability back to the southern border. I yield.
The gentleman yields back. The gentleman from Tennessee